All right, so we're diving deep into prepping for a data entry clerk interview. And we've got some awesome resources from RoleCatcher to help us out. Their career guide and interview guide are going to be super useful.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be talking about their AI tools a little bit later, too.
Right, those can give you a real edge in today's job market. But first, let's just start with the basics. What exactly does a data entry clerk do?
Well, the RoleCatcher Career Guide says it involves updating, maintaining, and retrieving information on computer systems. Basically, it's about being the guardian of accurate and organized data, which is super important for any business to run smoothly.
So it's not just about typing fast. You need
Yeah.
to be detail-oriented.
Organized, all that good stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Accuracy is key. And, increasingly this role also involves understanding how things like automation and AI are changing the data entry landscape. That's a really good point. It's not just about knowing the software, but understanding how technology is evolving the role itself. Okay, so let's jump into some of those common interview questions. The first one in RoleCatcher's interview guide is a classic. What experience do you have with data entry?
All right, so this is your chance to really shine, even if you haven't had like a formal data entry, collect, or Kate position.
Mhm.
Think about any experience where you've handled data accurately and efficiently. Like, did you like rub sheet for a personal project?
Yeah, that's a good point. Even volunteer work or personal projects can show those skills.
Definitely. And when you're describing your experience, be specific. Don't just say, I used Excel. Talk about the types of data you entered, the formulas you used, and how you ensured accuracy.
Yeah, so it's about painting a picture of your competency, not just listing software names.
Exactly. Now, the next question focuses on one of the most important qualities.
Yeah.
For a data entry clerk, how do you ensure accuracy?
I bet they're looking for more than just, I'm careful. What are some more concrete examples you can give?
Well, think about your process. Do you double check every entry? Use data validation tools? Maybe you have a system for breaking down large tasks into smaller chunks to avoid errors.
So it's about having a system and being proactive about accuracy.
Right. And you can even mention specific techniques you use. Like if you're entering numerical data, you could talk about using a checksum formula in Excel to verify your calculations.
Well, that's smart. That shows you're going above and beyond just basic data entry.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. What software are you familiar with?
This one's pretty straightforward, but it's crucial. Be honest about your skills and highlight the programs you're most comfortable with.
And again, specifics are key.
Yes, instead of just saying Microsoft Word, mention specific features.
Yeah.
You've mastered like mail merge or creating complex documents with tables and formatting.
So show them you're not just a button pusher. You actually understand how to use those tools. All right, let's move on to a question that's all about organization. How do you prioritize tasks when you have multiple data entry projects to work on?
This is where you demonstrate your ability to juggle multiple deadlines and stay organized. Think about your system. Do you prioritize by deadline complexity, or maybe you use a project management tool to keep track of everything?
It's about showing them you can handle the pressure and still deliver accurate results.
And be prepared for follow-up questions, too. They might ask you to walk them through a specific scenario where you had to prioritize competing deadlines.
Yeah, a real-life example can be really impressive. Okay, let's talk about handling volume. How do you handle large volumes of data entry tasks?
So this question is meant to assess your stamina efficiency and your ability to avoid burnout. They want to know you can handle the workload without sacrificing accuracy.
What are some strategies you can share?
Well, you can talk about breaking down large tasks, using keyboard shortcuts to speed up your work, and taking regular breaks to avoid fatigue.
So it's about being smart and sustainable, not just trying to power through everything at once.
Exactly. You can also mention any tools or techniques you use to stay focused and avoid errors like noise-canceling headphones or a specific typing method.
Those little details can make a big difference.
Mhm.
Okay, the next question is about data security. What steps do you take to protect sensitive data during data entry?
This is where you demonstrate your understanding of confidentiality
Yeah.
and data security best practices.
It's about showing them you can be trusted with important information.
Right. Mention things like password protection, data encryption, and following company protocols for handling sensitive data. You can also highlight any training or certifications you have in data security.
Those are all great points. Okay, this next question can be a bit tricky. What are your typing speed and accuracy?
Honesty is key here. Be upfront about your current skills, but also emphasize your commitment to improvement. If your speed is a work in progress, highlight your accuracy rate. And mention any steps you're taking to increase your typing speed, like practicing with online tools or something.
So it's about showing them you're self-aware and proactive.
Exactly. Now let's move on to a question that allows you to tell a story. Can you give an example of a challenging data entry project you have completed in the past?
This is your chance to shine. Choose a project that showcases your problem-solving skills, your attention to detail, and your ability to deliver results under pressure.
Yeah, and structure your answer like a mini case study. Describe the challenge, the steps you took to overcome it, and the positive outcome you achieved.
Make it engaging and memorable. Okay, this next question is all about continuous learning. What measures have you taken to improve your data entry skills?
This is where you demonstrate your commitment to professional development. Mention any courses, certifications, or online resources you've used. To enhance your skills, you can also talk about practicing your typing speed and accuracy, learning new software features, or staying updated on industry trends.
It's about showing them you're not complacent and that you're always looking to improve. All right, let's tackle one last question for this part of our deep dive. How do you ensure that data is entered in the correct format?
So this is all about meticulousness and attention to detail. Explain your process for verifying formats using templates and double-checking your work. You can also mention any tools or techniques you use to ensure consistency and accuracy, like data validation features or style guides.
So we've covered quite a few questions already, but before we move on, I want to touch on something I think is really important. RoleCatcher's AI tools, these can be a game changer when it comes to preparing for these specific questions.
Oh, absolutely. They can help you tailor your answers to each specific job you're applying for, which is crucial for making a strong impression.
That's where things get really interesting. Let's dive into that in the next part of our deep dive. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. So let's dive into how RoleCatcher's AI tools can really help you prepare for your data entry clerk interview.
Yeah, I'm super curious about that AI copilot. I've heard so much about what exactly is it and how does it work?
Okay, so imagine you have a personalized assistant that helps you tailor your CV or resume, A&D, your cover letter to each specific job you apply for.
So you're saying it's not just about having one generic resume anymore?
Not at all. The AI actually analyzes the job description and suggests tweaks to emphasize the experience and skills that really matter to that specific employer.
Oh, that's smart. So it's like it takes the guesswork out of figuring out what to highlight.
Exactly. Remember how we talked about the importance of highlighting relevant skills? Well, this just takes all the guesswork out of it.
It's awesome. It's like having a secret weapon to make your application stand out.
Precisely. And the AI can help with even more than just your resume and cover letter.
Oh, really? What else can it do?
Well, RoleCatcher also provides feedback on your application answers.
You mean those like detailed written responses that some applications ask for?
Exactly, those dreaded essay questions.
Yeah, those can be tough.
Right. Well, the AI can help you refine your responses, making them clearer, more concise, and super targeted to this specific role.
Wow, so it's like having a second pair of eyes to catch any mistakes or areas for improvement.
It's more than just catching mistakes. It can actually help you make your answers stand out. The AI might suggest stronger wording or highlight your key accomplishments, and it can even help you tailor your tone to match the company culture.
So it's like it helps you write better answers and make sure they're perfect for the specific job.
Exactly. And there's one more AI feature I think you'll love. You can actually practice your interview answers through video and get AI analysis.
Wait, seriously, that's so cool. It's like having a mock interview with an expert, but without all the pressure.
That's the idea. The AI analyzes your delivery. It identifies any nervous habits and provides feedback on your content and clarity. It even helps you polish your pacing and tone so you project confidence.
That is a game changer. Okay, I'm sold on these AI tools, but before we get too carried away with all the tech stuff, let's not forget about the bigger picture, those career insights that RoleCatcher provides. It's not just interview prep, right?
Right. The career guide actually highlights some really interesting potential career paths for data entry clerks. It's not just a stepping stone. It can be a launching pad for a really fulfilling career in data.
So you're saying it's not just a dead-end job. There's room for growth and development.
Absolutely. You can move into roles like data analyst or database administrator, and both of those positions build upon the core data skills you develop as a data entry clerk.
Wow, so data entry is like the foundation for a whole world of possibilities.
Exactly, and RoleCatcher goes beyond just outlining these paths. They also offer resources on networking, connecting with professionals in related fields, and building a portfolio to showcase your skills. It's a really holistic approach to career development.
It's like a roadmap for success.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so back to the interview for a second. The career guide also mentions some potential challenges that might come up in the interview. One that I thought was interesting was the question about handling repetitive tasks.
Yeah, that's a common one for data entry roles. The interviewer wants to know that you can stay focused and motivated even when the work gets a little tedious and that you have strategies for avoiding errors and burnout.
So what are some good ways to address that concern?
Well, it's important to be honest, but also highlight your strengths. You could talk about your ability to focus for long periods, your strategies for breaking down tasks and setting mini goals, or maybe your appreciation for the importance of accuracy, even in those routine tasks.
So it's about finding a way to frame those potentially negative aspects in a positive light.
Exactly. You could even mention any personal techniques you use to stay engaged, like listening to music or podcasts while you work, as long as it doesn't affect your accuracy, of course.
That makes sense.
Huh.
Okay, another question I think a lot of people struggle with is, what are your salary expectations?
Ooh, that one can be tricky. The key is to do your research beforehand. Use websites like Glassdoor or Salary.com to get a sense of the average salary range for data entry clerks in your area.
So it's about knowing your worth, but also being realistic.
Exactly. And be prepared to explain how your skills and experience justify your desired salary range. You can also emphasize your willingness to be flexible and negotiate based on the overall compensation package.
It's a delicate balance for sure.
Okay.
Okay, one last challenge I want to touch on is the issue of career progression. Some people might see data entry as a dead-end job. How do you address that in the interview?
Well, that's where those career insights from RoleCatcher come in handy. You can talk about your long-term goals and how you see this data entry role as a stepping stone to other positions within the company or even within the industry.
So it's about showing them you have ambition and a desire to learn and grow.
Exactly. You can mention specific roles you're interested in, like data analyst or database administrator, and highlight how the skills you're developing as a data entry clerk will help you prepare for those opportunities. You can even mention any online courses or certifications you're pursuing.
It's all about showing them you're not just looking for a job. You're looking for a career path and that you're willing to put in the work to get there. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive. We've talked about those amazing AI tools from RoleCatcher and how they can help you personalize your application, practice your answers, and get those valuable career insights.
We've also explored how important it is to understand the data entry career path and showcase those long-term goals and ambitions you have.
And in the final part, we'll bring it all together and give you some actionable steps so you can walk into that interview feeling confident and ready to land that data entry clerk job. All right, so we've explored the data entry clerk role, we dissected those common interview questions, and we even uncovered how AI can give you a serious edge. Now let's distill all of that into some actionable steps so you can totally ace that interview.
I like it. Think of this as your pre-game pep talk. We're giving you the tools and the mindset so you can walk in there feeling confident and prepared.
Love it. So let's start by revisiting the importance of research and preparation. It's not just about memorizing answers, it's about really understanding the company, the specific role, and how your skills align with their needs.
Right. And remember how RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your CV or resume and your cover letter to EECH-specific job. Use that to your advantage. Highlight the experiences and skills that really matter to that employer.
It's like customizing your pitch for each audience.
Yeah.
You wouldn't give the same presentation to a room full of scientists as you would to a group of artists.
Exactly. And don't forget to research the company itself. What are their values? What's their culture like? The more you know, the better you can tailor your responses and demonstrate that you're a good fit for their team.
So it's about being genuinely interested and showing that you've done your homework. Okay, so let's talk about the interview itself. Any tips for making a strong first impression?
Well, first impressions are see your usual, dress professionally, arrive on time, or even a few minutes early. And be enthusiastic and engaged from the moment you walk in the door.
It's all about projecting confidence and showing them you're excited to be there.
Right. Eye contact and a firm handshake go a long way, too. And don't forget to smile. You want to come across as approachable and likable.
Okay, now what about those tricky behavioral questions that always seem to pop up? The ones like, tell me about a time you failed, or describe a situation where you had to deal with a difficult coworker.
You know, those questions are designed to assess your problem-solving skills, your interpersonal skills, and your ability to handle those challenging situations. The key is to have a few stories prepared that showcase those skills in action. Think back to your past experiences, both professional and personal, and identify situations where you demonstrated resilience, adaptability, or leadership.
Oh, that's a good idea. It's like having a mental toolbox of stories you can pull from. depending on the question.
Exactly. And when you tell those stories, use the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. This framework helps you structure your answers in a clear and concise way that really highlights your accomplishments.
So it's not just about rambling, it's about telling a compelling story.
And remember to focus on the positive even when you're describing a challenging situation. Highlight what you learned from that experience and how you grew as a result.
Turn those potential negatives into opportunities to showcase your resilience and growth mindset. Okay, so let's talk about salary expectations. This can be a sensitive topic, but it's important to be prepared to discuss it.
Absolutely. And like we discussed earlier, research is key. Know that average salary range for data entry clerks in your area, and be prepared to articulate your desired salary based on your skills and experience.
But also be flexible and willing to negotiate. It's about finding that win-win solution.
Right, and don't be afraid to ask about the entire compensation package, too. Things like benefits, vacation time, and opportunities for professional development. All of those factors contribute to your overall job satisfaction.
Okay, so before we wrap up, let's touch on one final but crucial aspect of the interview: asking thoughtful questions.
Yes, asking questions shows that you're genuinely interested and engaged, and it gives you the opportunity to gather more information about the role and the company.
What are some good examples of questions to ask?
Well, you would ask about the company's culture, opportunities for growth within the company, or the day-to-day responsibilities of the role. You could even ask about the team you'd be working with or the company's approach to professional development.
So it's about showing them you're thinking long-term and that you're really invested in finding the right fit.
And remember, the interview is a two-way street. It's not just about them evaluating you, it's also about you evaluating them. So ask questions that'll help you decide if it's a company where you can thrive and grow.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into data entry clerk interviews.
We talked about research preparation, making that strong first impression, and asking those thoughtful questions.
And we explored how RoleCatcher's AI tools can help you personalize your application, practice your answers, and gain valuable career insights.
You got it. Just remember, confidence is key. Believe in yourself, your skills, and your potential. With the right preparation and mindset, you can totally ace that interview and launch a really successful career as a data entry clerk.
And hey, even if this particular interview doesn't lead to your dream job, the skills and insights you've gained will be valuable no matter what. Keep learning, keep growing, and never stop pursuing your goals.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's a wrap for our deep dive today. Best of luck with your interview.